Welcome to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, the show that helps you sort through all of the trends, new and old, of the fitness world. We'll talk about yoga, running, Zumba, weightlifting, and everything in between. Whether you've got your fitness routine down to a science or you're just starting out and looking for direction, you'll find educational and entertaining information on the GSMC Fitness Podcast. Welcome to the GSMC Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Barbar. First thing we're going to talk about today is limiting food intake. So last time we talked about dropping weight, and I want to expand on that a little bit because it can be hard to drop weight. And even if you're not necessarily trying to drop a lot of weight, if you're trying to drop fat, so therefore you can start to build up and gain some muscle, you need to be careful of portion sizes. Portion sizes within each group of what you're eating, and just portion size overall. It's very easy to not have eaten for a long time, and so you feel so hungry, and then you just go overboard. I think the most direct way to go about helping with portions is to count calories. It's not too difficult to do. All you have to do is read the calorie count on any packaging that you buy. You can find it in the nutritional information. It's right there. So that definitely helps with meal planning. If you want to do meal preps to organize for the week, how many calories you're going to eat each day that week, you can organize it that way. It makes planning your meals and cooking a little bit easier. I've never personally counted calories, but I think it's super helpful. I do know tons of people who've done it, and it has helped them immensely for whatever goal they were trying to make. Whether they were trying to lose a ton of weight or they were simply trying to lose fat and gain muscle, counting calories is so helpful for whatever it is that you're trying to do. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it definitely can encourage you, and you'll see results. For sure you'll see results. But that's not the only thing you can do, of course. It's just a popular and effective way of approaching things. A simple way to do it without worrying about numbers, if you're annoyed by tracking everything, if you feel like, I don't need another thing to keep track of, this is just too much, it's frustrating, it's just something extra to think about. I understand that feeling. That's one of the reasons that I don't track it. All you need to do is pay attention to how you feel when you eat. Now, what I mean by that is don't go overboard. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I don't go overboard, I eat and I stop eating once I'm full. Just occasionally, if something's really good, I'll have a couple more bites. And I totally get it. That happens to the best of us. But technically, you're not really supposed to stop eating when you're full. So being full means that you absolutely couldn't eat another bite, or it's just, you can't handle it. You don't want to stop eating at that point. You want to stop eating before that. And sometimes we don't necessarily notice because oftentimes meal time is with other people, most of the time. And if that's the case, you're not paying attention because you're talking to other people. Or you're by yourself and you're watching a movie. You are distracted in some way. Usually people don't eat and sit there and enjoy the food and nothing else and don't consciously pay attention. So you have to be aware of what you're doing, and enjoy your food. Don't be stressed about how much you're eating, but just be conscious of how you feel while you're eating. That's why it's important to take your time. It's very, very important to take your time. That will help you keep track of how you're feeling while you eat. That's one of the reasons, actually, I really love chopsticks. I don't eat everything with chopsticks. I just like eating Far Eastern food with chopsticks. However, this can help with your speed while eating and help you keep track of how you're feeling while you eat because you're forced to take smaller bites. It helps you control your pace when you eat. I think it's a great way to force yourself to control how you eat. And then you'll notice, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit full. I'm not hungry anymore. I wasn't hungry anymore a little bit earlier, and I'm starting to feel a little bit full. Okay, I should stop. And that's where you stop. Don't stop when you feel full. That's too much. Now, when you're initially hungry, that first feeling is not necessarily real hunger because I've felt that feeling when I just ate an hour ago. That's not real hunger. If you wait a little bit longer, you suddenly won't be hungry. Then you wait a little bit longer and you will actually be hungry. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but sometimes you just get a craving for whatever reason. And honestly, usually it just means you're thirsty and you need to drink water. Actually, that kind of too soon hunger is a good reminder to take a sip or a few gulps of water if that's what you need. It's a very good indicator of that and a good reminder for yourself and a good way to prevent yourself from eating a snack that you might not necessarily need yet. So take your time while you eat. Don't shovel it down quickly. Drink water first and be patient. Okay, I promise you can wait just a little bit longer to eat. And when you eat, you can eat a little bit less. Take it slow. You don't have to cut it in half. You can start by cutting out a third or a quarter of whatever it is you're cutting out. And then you can adjust as needed. But start adjusting your portion sizes. Make sure you think about when's the last time you ate? When are you going to eat? How much waiting time is there left? Can you eat a small snack now? Can you afford that? Or will you be okay if you don't eat anything? Are you actually hungry or are you thirsty? Need to consider all of these things. And don't just think about portions for the whole meal, break it down. That's obviously very important. Make sure you break down your calories, your protein, your fats. Break it down. You don't have to break it down to the bare bits if that's too much. I understand it's a lot to keep track of. But if you're thinking in terms of calories, great. Only think in terms of calories and don't worry too much about everything else. As long as you're getting in your veggies and nutrients, you can focus on just the calories. All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back. Earlier, we talked about food portions and counting calories. Now, counting calories is a bit of an annoying one sometimes for some people. I know it can be difficult to start because it seems like it's a lot, but I promise it can be super, super helpful, extremely rewarding if you do it right and if you can do it consistently. Now, if keeping track of it just on your own is a little bit difficult, I totally understand. There are different ways you can do that. But before we talk about that, what even are calories? What are they? So technically, the actual definition is it's the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature of 1 kilogram of water by 1 degree Celsius. So it's basically a unit of measurement. So that basically means, the definition that most people know, is that calories are energy from food or drinks. Just energy that's in anything. And like I said before, calories are on all packaging of foods, so don't stretch yourselves out. You can find them right there on the package and easily make plans on how you want your meals to go. And most restaurants nowadays especially have the nutritional information next to the food. So if you go out to eat, you can absolutely find it. And if it's not there, you can ask, and I'm sure the chef can give you a rough estimate if they don't know the exact calorie count. Now, the recommended intake for the average American is 1,600 to 3,000 calories per day. Now, obviously, that depends on if you're a man or woman, your metabolism, your weight to height ratio, your activity level, any medical considerations that need to be talked to your doctor about. So just keep that in mind when thinking about that range. That's important to consider. Now, if you want to count calories with a little bit of help, first of all, of course, talk to your doctor. Your doctor will definitely help you out, give you some suggestions, what they recommend. But some apps to support that are Fitbit. It counts your steps and activity, but it also counts your carbs, protein, and fats, which is wonderful. You can definitely keep track and try to keep everything balanced. You can also use Healthy Out. And the cool thing about Healthy Out is actually it suggests not only restaurants in your area, but specific dishes for any dietary needs. So whether you have a specific diet you're following to get healthier, or whether you just personally are vegetarian or vegan for whatever reason, whatever your dietary needs are, Healthy Out has suggestions for that, which I think is cool. Because along with that, obviously, it counts your calories. It helps you keep track of all that. Another cool one is Lose It. So Lose It kind of creates a personalized calorie budget. So you put in your information, your height, your weight, your sex, and it will calculate what it believes is a good calorie count to have per day. And it also has a food database that you can look through, which is a cool thing. So those are some options that you can check out. Try them out, see which one works best for you and your needs. While you're thinking about those apps, something else to help you out is don't just think about calories, okay? Calories are in everything you eat. Considering protein is obviously important and your carb intake, but consider the fats. Now, if people need to lose weight, they need to cut out fats. Does that mean you need to cut out all fats, period? Absolutely not. There are healthy fats that are extremely important for our bodies and we need them. So you need to keep that in mind. And not only that, there are foods that have fats, healthy or not, or a mix, that are just nutritional foods in general, and you don't necessarily need to cut those out. So some foods to keep in mind. Healthy foods with fats include things like avocado, cheese, dark chocolate, eggs, fatty fish, nuts, olive oil, coconuts, real yogurt, not sugary, fruity yogurts. You don't want that kind of yogurt. These kinds of things are very, very nutritious. If you want to really be strict about it, you need to make sure you're getting the food with the healthy fats. So anything with healthy fats are things like most oils, like olive oil, canola, peanut, sesame. Avocados have healthy fats and also a great source of protein. And it's not meat, so if you want to reduce your meat intake, avocado is an excellent way to go. Nuts have healthy fats, tofu, soy, olives, peanut butter, of course, considering nuts. So if you want some peanut butter is very heavy though, so I would say don't have too much of that, but it is still healthy. Seeds such as sunflower and pumpkin also have healthy fats. So these are all some great things to keep in mind if you want to reduce your calorie intake, reduce your fat intake, but still have the nutrients that you need, and to keep track of it all. Because, I mean, keeping track of it all, like, it's a lot. So I think counting calories is the best way to go, because you don't necessarily have to break down the specifics if you don't want to be that strict about it. Just as long as you're getting the nutrients you need and you're not gorging, you're trying to keep track of your meal prep throughout the week, I think simply counting calories is a great way to go. And these apps will be super, super helpful to doing that. Just remember, look at the packaging on the back of the food and keep these healthy options in mind. There are so many different recipes and ways to use these in your food. You can easily replace anything that has butter with oil, and I personally love olive oil. I think it's delicious. I put it on anything, and sometimes I prefer olive oil to butter. And you can replace a lot of sugary foods with nuts. So that's another way to go. And also dark chocolate, because dark chocolate doesn't have too much sugar in it, but you still get that nice chocolatey flavor. So if you need a little something, have some dark chocolate with some nuts. Great, great, great way to go. And if it has coconut with it, there you go. Even better. Another healthy addition for your dessert that replaces a ton of calories and fats that you don't need in your diet. If you check out those apps, make sure to let me know your experience with them. I'm curious to see what you guys think. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back. We are going to talk about a balanced workout routine. So something to keep in mind when you work out is, yeah, you want those abs, but Do you only want abs and absolutely no definition in your arms and legs? That's going to be a little strange. So you want to make sure you're keeping that balance. Obviously, you have areas that need more work than others, or that you personally want to focus on more than anything else, and that's totally fine. I absolutely encourage that. I do that myself, but you still need to have that balance of working out the entire body. The trick is, well, how do you do that? I mean, there's so many different muscles and muscle groups, and when you do one workout, sometimes you discover muscles you didn't know you had because things get sore, and it can be a lot. And then you realize, oh, I need to work out this section more because I didn't realize I needed to. Sometimes that can happen. And I actually welcome those discoveries. I find them very interesting, and they make me laugh. Because I love anatomy and find it fascinating, but that doesn't mean I know every muscle in the body. So working out is actually a fun way of keeping track of that. But balanced workouts, back to that. So one way you can do it is to split up every section of the body. A lot of people like to do it this way. Every kind of workout that benefits specific things, that's in one group, and you do that one day. So one thing you can do is do the same thing every week, but every day is different. Now, lots of people split this up in different ways, but one way I have seen is, for example, let's say Monday, you work on your upper body strength. You do nothing but upper body. Then Tuesday, you do lower body strength, okay? You do your legs, your glutes, anything in that area. Then Wednesday, you do something low impact, right? You give yourself a little break, but you're still getting that workout in there. Something like yoga or swimming. Keep it low impact. Then Thursday, we're on Thursday, right? You do high intensity. You do something with some impact, something intense. Then on Friday, you do total body strength. Okay, this is where you can focus on more of everything. Then Saturday, you do cardio. You do steady cardio. You don't want something high intensity, just steady, okay? Then Sunday is your rest day. Now, I think that's a great way to do it, especially if you want to learn more about your different muscle groups and you want to focus on each section and really learn about these different types of workouts. This is a great way to do that, and a great way to really be involved and get the most out of your gym membership, if you have a gym membership. It's a great way to make sure you're using all the tools and making great progress and touching every single part of your body that needs to be worked. And every kind of workout, which also affects your body, different parts of your bodies in different ways. And you still get your rest day in, which is very important, y'all. Don't skip your rest days. They're very important. So if that's too much for you, if you're not into that, totally understand. I personally don't work out that way. I don't divide things that way. So if you still want to divide them, but not to that extremity, what you can do is alternate. You can do strength and cardio. That's it. Just split it up that way. One day do strength, next day cardio. And if you want to divide your strength days into upper and lower body, you can do that too. So you have 3 categories: upper body, lower body, cardio. I know some people are even more specific. They have chest days, arm days, leg days. And those are helpful. You want to incorporate those, especially if there's a specific area you want to work. If you're trying to lose extra fat on your stomach, you need to work your abs or your core. Great. Add a specific workout to your routine that focuses on that. if you have toned abs, or if you have enough fat loss in that area and you're happy with it and you want to work on your arms, then include an arm day. Just think about your needs, and you can add something a little extra to that area temporarily, but make sure to have the balance of the rest of the body too. A good way to keep everything balanced is to just do everything, every workout. Just work out everything, every single time. High intensity can be a good way to do that because it's short, and different high intensities obviously work different things, but they don't necessarily have to be super specific. You can pick ones that end up working all the groups. I personally like that idea, working everything all in one go. Now, one reason I like it is it's just easier for me to keep track of what I'm working out because I'm just doing it all at once every single time. And the other reason is I like longer workouts. I do really, really like doing everything all at once because I'm the type of person, once I get started, I kind of keep going. Unless for some reason I'm really exhausted that day, something's going on, that's different. But in general, once I get started, I like to keep that workout going. It makes me want to move even more. I take my time. I do so many stretches. I love my stretch time. I do every stretch possible before I work out. And then that gets me in the mood to work out. So I work out, and once I start going, I get in the mood to do even more. So that's the way I like to do it. Now, if you don't have time, you can still work out everything while doing short workouts. I've mentioned it before, but those 7-minute workouts are honestly phenomenal. They're really awesome. You can find some of those to do, or even one that kind of works out a little bit of everything. And you can repeat that as many times as you have time for, and just do that. Or find 2 different kinds of 7-minute workouts and alternate them, either during that workout session or by day. Whatever you think is best for you and your situation. Just repeat if you have time, repeat as needed. Just make sure you include your rest days. Those are very, very important. And just experiment. Pay attention to your goals, to how your goals are progressing, and find the balance that works for you. And don't be afraid to change up your routine if you feel like it needs to be adjusted. If you need to change it, you need to change it. There's no harm in changing what you're doing. Just try to keep that balance. Get in those rest days because those are important. You need your muscles to heal and you need to rest. And stretch. Do your stretching too. That helps with your rest days. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
The GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back. Earlier, we talked about having a balanced workout routine, making sure you're working out your entire body, even while you're focusing on your goals. And speaking of goals, what's a common goal that most people have? Getting those abs. Everyone loves those abs. Everyone wants that summer body, right? I'm guessing that's what most people's focus is. That's definitely something I like to focus on. So, how do you strengthen your core and get rid of belly fat? Obviously, there are exercises to focus on that. But before we talk about those, let me just say, don't shy away from aerobics. Cardio is so important and a great way to drop fat and gain muscle. I personally love cardio so much. Do not purely focus on strength. Cardio is very, very important. Obviously, strength can get you great results too, but I do believe in cardio. I do believe in those aerobics. They're extremely helpful, extremely beneficial, and definitely a big help towards your goals. So don't shy away from those. Try them out. Super helpful. Another thing you can do is have a specific ab routine that you can incorporate into your everyday workout. Whatever your everyday workout is, if you have a problem area, your core, incorporate that into your workout more often than other things. That's okay. Just keep everything balanced, but find that routine that's a little bit extra in that area. And as you improve, you can balance it out with the rest of the workout as needed. The other thing is be consistent. When you start noticing progress, that's not a sign to get lazy, okay? We're here to make real progress and be consistent. You can have your cheat days. Nothing's wrong with cheat days, but be consistent with your workouts. When you start making progress, that's just a sign that you're doing the right thing and that you need to keep doing it. It's not a sign to stop, right? You want to keep that up, so keep it up. Be consistent. The other thing is don't overdo it. I cannot stress enough how important it is to rest when you need to rest. You will make so much more progress if you just rest when needed. Let me give you an example. When I work out multiple days in a row and I go a little bit hard, I sometimes am unable to do as much as I want. I'm unable to push myself further. Once I get 2 rest days in, okay, not just 1 rest day, once I feel completely rested, even 3 rest days sometimes, it depends how busy I am. When I get back into it, I can do more than I was doing previously because I had my rest days. It's so important to give your body time to heal. So absolutely plan those and take them into consideration. Don't go overboard on the rest days. We're still trying to work hard here, but make sure you incorporate them into your routine. They make a difference. Now, if you're trying to work out your core and you want some exercise suggestions, you're not sure where to start, these are a few things that I do. Now, crunches, typical crunches. That's everyone's go-to for ab workouts, and I love them. And there are a few different kinds of crunches you can do. You can obviously go straight up and down, or you can go across to your knees to work the sides. All of those are great. And there's another 2 types of crunches I want to mention. So the standard crunches that most people do is keeping your knees bent and having your feet flat on the ground and going all the way up and back down. That's a standard crunch. But what I've always done, because I used to take Taekwondo, is I'm going to call them martial arts crunches because I know they do them in jiu-jitsu too, and I believe a few other types of martial arts. But the crunches that we do are you put your legs in the air and your knees are a little bit bent and you cross your ankles. And then you put your hands behind your head and you do your crunches. So those are the ones that I do, and they've worked well for me. I enjoy them. I see that they're effective. So if you want to try that one, if you've never done it before, try that one. I also really enjoy leg lifts. Leg lifts are great, super effective. They definitely affect the core very much. And another thing I like to do is when you're done with your leg lifts, put your legs down, but not all the way to the ground. Just let them hover an inch or two above the ground. And do that for as long as you can. I say 2 minutes. 2 minutes is good if you can do it for that long. If you can't, no problem. Start with 30 seconds, then move it up to a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Another thing that you can do, which I don't do these, but I actually want to start incorporating them into my routine, are Flutter Kicks. So if you don't know what those are, they're kind of like leg lifts, but you're alternating your legs. So you're like fluttering and kicking. So the name's appropriate. Another one that I do that I absolutely love are Russian twists. So if you don't know what those are, you are sitting on the ground with your legs up and your feet on the ground, kind of similar to crunches. And then you are bent up. So you're not completely straight up. You're at an angle. So you feel the pressure in your core. You can feel yourself holding yourself up. And then you just twist back and forth. I really, really love that one a lot. And another one that I do that I don't know the name of, but it's a similar idea. So your legs are up at a right angle. So your knees are bent. And your body is positioned similar to Russian twists. So you're at that angle where you feel the pressure in your core. And you stretch your arms out, and you can flutter them up and down if that helps, but you just hold that position for a full minute if you can. It can get pretty exhausting, so maybe start 30 seconds, then do a minute, then do a little bit longer. Whatever is easiest for you or whatever you want to push yourself towards. There are definitely other exercises that can affect the core indirectly, so don't stack up 20 different ab workouts, okay? Just pick a few and switch them up if you want to experiment. Find a routine that you like, and don't be afraid of other exercises because they affect your core. Cardio affects your core, legs affect your core, booty workouts affect your core, chest workouts affect your core, okay? Everything is connected. So don't be super, super stressed out if 90% of your exercises are contributing to your abs. That's too much. Don't do that. So find the balance. And with that, we'll take another break.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
And we are back to talk about something that I teased last week. A little toy that I played with, a new workout device. That is really, really cool. But when I first saw it, I was more curious than anything. I wasn't sure if it was going to be cool or not. Do you guys remember when the Wii first came out and how excited everyone was about trying the sports games because it was like playing a game, but you're being active too? And even people who didn't play video games were super excited about it and thought it was something cool to try. And it was cool for that time. It was very, very new, that concept. Well, now Nintendo came out with Ring Fit Adventure. which is this game that is focused on working out. And it is way more involved than the Wii games ever were. I mean, obviously the Wii Sports were specific to the sports, but it was still a video game. But these games are specific to working out. And there are a lot of options. Okay, so let me break it down. So what is this game exactly? It came out in October, and it has some fun games that are just regular games. You have to try and do something within the game, but you are still working out your body. So it's also exercise. All you need is the regular Joy-Cons or the regular controllers for the Switch and the Ring-Con. You need to order the Ring-Con. So when you order this game, what comes with it is this controller that's a ring. And it also comes with a little band, because that band will go on your thigh, on your left thigh. So you have that in the ring. And if you don't know the Switch controller, it has two halves. So you put each half in each piece. One for the band on your leg and one for the ring. And that will help the game keep track of your movements. Now this ring is super flexible. So how the games work is it tracks your movements, but it also tracks your strength. So you push in to flex it in and pull out. Okay, and pulling it out is harder than pushing it in. Anyway, I'll get into that later. It's stronger than you think. If you look at it, you might think, oh my God, won't that break? They had a bodybuilder test it, and he could not break it. So don't worry. It's very strong, very versatile. You can do a lot with it. So what are the options in the game? Well, when you open it, you'll see you can do adventure mode. So it's like a regular game. You can go through a storyline, but you're also playing games within it that will help you to work out. And there are some other sections. There's a workout section. Now there are mini games, so you can do different types of things. For example, there's one where you have to collect coins by balancing. So you're walking along this balance beam, and you have to squeeze the ring in consistently to make sure the bars go out. And you have to lean back and forth from your midsection for your abs to move the dumbbells in the game to collect the coins and also avoid bombs. And you can play these games at different intensities. So there's normal and advanced, I believe, are the two intensities. But there's also an overall strength intensity that is automatically set on hard, which is what I kept my settings on. But there's also a medium and easy. So that's just for the ring to track your strength and how much pressure you need to put into everything that you're doing. And there are so many different game options. I mean, so many. Besides the games, they have a section for actual workouts. Now, these workouts are focused on whatever you want. So you can choose the workouts that you want to do. For example, if you want to focus on your glutes and your legs, there are workouts specifically for those. If you want to focus on your core, chest, and back, there are workouts that focus on those. Arms, legs, whatever it is, it's in there. And you can change the intensity of the workout, and it will show you how to do each thing. You have a visual and you have a few tips that it will shout at you. It will remind you occasionally to keep your back straight, for example, or keep your knees slightly bent, for example. Just make sure you're following along and you should be fine. It also keeps track of your points and your score if you want to save them. So you can track your improvements, and it also has a schedule reminder, so you can set a schedule and it will remind you to work out, which is really, really cool. So when I tried it, I had so much fun. There's one section I didn't try, or two sections. I didn't try the story mode yet, and another section I didn't mention yet that I didn't try is it gets a little more specific and works one specific set of muscles on either side. So you can go into that setting and just work those muscles. If there's a particular muscle you know needs to be worked. For example, if you have hip dips and you're trying to get rid of those, you can work that specific muscle in your glutes. Whatever you need, it's there. It works the muscles. And like I said, there's intensity levels. So I think most people can use this and you will get a workout from it. Just make your schedule within it and you'll be fine. So I really, really enjoyed using it. I did get a workout from it. I tried different intensity levels. And one arm workout that I did actually made me laugh. It confirmed that I am right-handed and my left arm needs a little bit more work. So that was interesting that it made me do a workout I'd never done before to not discover that, but more prominently notice that. I will definitely keep using this. If you want to see my experience with it, I posted a little montage, a short little video on Twitter and Facebook. So make sure you follow GSMC Fitness on there to check that out. And with that, we're going to take another little break. On that break, make sure to check out Twitter and Facebook and see that little video. And we'll be right back.
Pets bring such joy to our lives, and the GSMC Pets podcast is here to share in that joy. We'll tell stories of pets finding their forever homes, acting in unexpected ways, being helpful, or just being silly. Whether you love dogs, cats, llamas, reptiles, fish, or you've never met an animal you didn't like, the GSMC Pets podcast is for you.
And finally, I just want to talk about the future of fitness. Where are we going with workouts? What direction is this headed? I don't want to say industry or fad. Maybe industry is better. But where is this headed? Because right now, the most popular things people are doing are going to the gym. Everyone loves the gym. They want to go to the gym. And if not, they at the very least, if they can, they get their own gym equipment at home. So gym and tools like that are a large focus for most people. Then some people prefer to do things outdoors. For example, if they run or jog, take walks, cycle, whatever it is, they do it outdoors. Maybe they go hiking or mountain climbing. And then there are taking classes. There are people that do that. Just, it could be in the gym, but I also mean outside of that, regardless of the gym. A swim class, it could be a dance class, like regular dance, not workout dance. It could be martial arts. Whatever it is, that course is also an option some people use. And these are the most common things people do, but I still feel like gym and gym equipment is at the top. Now, technology has been trying to get in the industry, obviously, and we see that with things like all the watches that everyone's coming out with to help track your sleep, your calories, your heartbeat, all of that. So we have the watches. Then we have the apps. The apps can track your steps. They can track your food intake. They can help you choose the right foods to eat. We have that as an option that a lot of people love to use too. And of course, there are programs regarding food, but besides that, the other thing technology has been slowly introducing is, video games. Previously, we talked about the Ring Fit Adventure, and it's amazing. I think it's the best addition to the fitness world, technologically speaking. Honestly, I do. I think there are other things that could be done as well, but I think it is the best one currently. I think it's a great idea, and it was made very well. The first introduction we had to this was with the Wii and Wii Sports, and that was cool and all. And the Wii U, same thing. And then we got VR. Now, VR wasn't necessarily made to work out, but it can be used in that way if you want. It requires moving around, which is really cool. And the way it is now, if you're unaware, Oculus is really popular now, and you can set up the space. So whatever room you're in, you can set the border, and then you put on the headset to see the game, and you put the controllers in your hands. But even though the controllers are only in your hands, because you're within the VR, you automatically want to move your legs, and you kind of have to. You move up and down, and it can track that. And you definitely get a workout, even if it's not specifically made for working out. Now, something else that's even more popular than these things that has been a constant but developing is DDR. Obviously, DDR has been around since before I was a kid, and everyone loves it. It's so much fun. Even if people don't like dancing, they like trying it. It's a really fun option, Dance Dance Revolution. There's the Kinect that the Xbox came out with, that you don't need a mat. It just tracks your movements. It can sense your movements. And that's really cool. But the hype of that died down a little bit. People still use it and love it. And then now, Nintendo came out with Pokemon Go, which made people go outside and start walking around more, which is great. And now, even more recently, the most recent, is the RingCon, the Ring Fit Adventure. And I honestly think it's the best one because it is actually catered towards working out and has workout plans and workout features, like it's a workout app or a workout coach, because it does speak to you too. It gives encouraging words, almost like a coach, and it gives instruction. But that's the most recent one, and I think it is the best one right now. As much as I think it's amazing and great, what I want for the future is more. Something I've always thought about that would have been incredible is something similar to Kinect, but also similar to VR. So one option is it's similar to the Ring Fit Adventure, where you have something on your thigh and something you hold, but maybe you don't need to necessarily hold something. I think the idea of the ring is so you don't have dumbbells, so the ring is a cool option. But I think to help track your body, it can have more pieces to it, like a strap for each thigh, maybe more for each ankle, and then for your arms and wrists, and then maybe one in the middle too, or for your chest. So it has adjustable straps to fit anyone, but it tracks more of your body's movements. That can be an even more accurate way to track things. And I think would be a really cool way to go about doing it, because that's adjustable and easier to do, even though it has tons of pieces, but it's better than wearing a full body suit. And it could be VR. VR is one way to do it. Or VR can give people motion sickness, so if you don't want to do VR, I think, like the Ring Fit Adventure, you don't have to wear anything on your face, so it can be structured like that, but it still tracks more of your movements. That's just what I'm thinking about for the future. I don't think it's necessary right now. Obviously, I do think what's happening right now is amazing in its own light and effective in its own light. I'm just thinking, future, where is this headed? And if they created something like that, would that be popular? How popular would that get? I'm still waiting to see the Ring Fit Adventure. Do people that don't play video games use it? Are they interested in using it? it might be a good introduction for people who want to get into workouts but don't like monotony and are afraid of getting bored or afraid of, they're just maybe a little more self-conscious about going to the gym, which all of those are totally understandable. I think this is a good introduction to that and a good alternative to going to the gym and to being outdoors in general. And another question I have about where this is headed is not just technologically speaking, but what about what people should do? Should we stick to going to the gym only or branch out? Is adding these things to technology a good thing, or can it inhibit our workout routine? Is it a distraction? Should we stick to the video game workouts if that's an option that people choose, or should they branch out and try other things? And same for other people. Are these video game workouts sufficient enough for people who bodybuild, for example? Is it intense enough for them? I don't think it is. I mean, they can't break it, but the workouts itself, are they intense enough? Probably not, but I think for the average person, they are, and they do give a decent workout. And they're fun. They're a different way of doing it. If you don't want to do a regular workout, but you don't want to take lessons in a class, I think it's worth trying. I think video game workouts are definitely worth trying. I think it's a very interesting option. It works and it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, why not give it a chance? Let me know what you guys think in Twitter and Facebook. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I'd like to ask that you please remember to subscribe to the show and write a nice review. It really helps us out. Also, if you can please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
You've been listening to the GSMC Fitness Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, and any app where you listen to podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of the shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, from business news to weird news, we cover it all. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook and listen to these podcasts on YouTube. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's podcast.